Let's get ready to go. Time to bring the action. You betcha. The action like nowhere else at a track like nowhere else. This is Talladega. This is the Yellowwood 500. Let's go. McDowell's got his teammate Todd Gilliland right behind, giving him a nice push. Cindric on the high side. The front row guys are working well together, straight from the drop of the green.
You can already see toward the back of the pack, some drivers are trying to make that outside line work 3 wide.
Brad Keselowski was one of those. He's up on that third lane. You saw a good shot earlier of Joey Logano, and this is Daniel Suarez having to serve a drive-through, a pass-through penalty, unapproved changes to the car, specifically the roof, and this is going to hurt.
Lee, we saw that early shuffle that took Denny Hamlin from an 8th place starting spot to the very back of the pack. There he is now riding around in the back, and it makes you wonder if the driver thought this was okay, if this was something that he did or didn't intend to do, if he was just dropping back on his own. Here's what he had to say.
Well, that sucked.
Succinctly, that sucked. He didn't necessarily want that to happen, but now, Jeff, he's just got to deal with it and race from there.
Off to a fast flying start in the Yellowwood 500. However, we have come to a slower pace. The first caution of the day, and it involves Trackhouse Racing's Daniel Suarez, the driver who had to serve a penalty, do a pass-through, and then the pack caught him, Jeff.
He did, Pat. He did. The pack caught him, and instead of just going to the top or the bottom, he decided to try to go to the middle. He was trying to catch the pack so that he didn't lose it, so he didn't get lapped again. But watch right here. Everybody's getting by him. He tries to move up. And when he does, there's a 78 of BJ McLeod, and he ends up spinning himself out. That is an overreaction. Like, if that was too much being afraid of getting lapped twice. Had he gotten to the back of this pack, Steve, with as big of a turbulence is, I believe he could have stayed on to the back and just stayed 1 lap down.
That's totally on Daniel Suarez, 100%. I'm not sure that view back there is any different. You look ahead and you say, 4 wide, 7 deep. Is this really a mess I want to get into? I mean, it looks like a formation lap. It doesn't appear that this could possibly be a group of cars going nearly 200 miles an hour.
You wonder why I used to wake up nervous here, Dick.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is it. I mean, if one person makes a mistake, one person just misjudges it by a foot, he's going to take a lot of people with him.
You mentioned earlier, Jeff, and every single driver talks about it. It's the energy in the pack. What does that feel like from the driver's seat?
Oh, the car's buffing around. It's moving all over the place. You're trying to figure out, is there any energy coming from behind me? What is going on in the front? Now, you're pretty much locked in. Unless somebody leaves you a hole that you can dive into, you kind of have to just try to push your lane.
4 wide has become 2. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. leads Kyle Larson. There are enough disruptors at the front of this pack, non-playoff drivers, I mean, in important positions to frustrate the playoff drivers. Watch that outside line. Chris Buescher getting the push from Tyler Reddick, who won here in the spring.
Remember where that start finish is, way past the tri-oval.
Here they come. Final lap, stage 1. Chris Buescher gets a little breakaway from the pack, gets ahead of Ricky Stenhouse, and Chris Buescher will win stage 1 here at Talladega. We're gearing up to restart. Let's begin stage 2, and we're going to check in and listen to Trey Poole, the spotter for the 9 of Chase Elliott. Here we go.
You're good. Good to roll. Stay in line here. Stay in line. Stay in line. All right, you're clear to move. only about 10 in line on the top. Already a third line forming. Gonna get tight here, tight.
This pack is now gonna get slower. 3 wide does not have the energy. Some are pitting. That's gonna get it back to 2 wide.
So now is a oh no! Martin Truex Jr. spun around on pit entry. He's gonna back up. No damage. But now they're gonna have to change tires on the 19. I would imagine after that long slide. So everyone else is gonna assume take fuel only, Parker.
Right, Christopher Bell led the Toyotas down here. He will do fuel only. As you saw the 19 spinning, that'll break up their cars. Dave.
Denny Hamlin, fuel only. He is gone.
You see how difficult it is to get to pit road. And we see this over and over, Steve. Trying to get to pit road on these big racetracks, incidents happen. Yeah, look at the points. Look how close it is. Denny Hamlin in 18th place. Got no stage points in the first stage.
It's just biding the time or maybe no options. Can someone mount a charge in this final lap of the second stage?
At the moment, there's only 4 playoff drivers in the top 10. Make that 5 now with Bowman. It's been strong again, which has been the storyline post the Olympic break. Here comes the pack into the tri-oval. Who's going to grab the points? Logano pulls out of the line. He's going for it. So too is Larson. Here comes Joey Logano with a big stomp. Boom! Ryan Blaney at the end of stage 2. Ross Chastain as well. The reigning Cup Series champ has a big one right on the line at the end of the second stage.
That is huge right there. That has major consequences to the playoffs.
Let's show you some replays on what transpired coming to the line to complete the stage.
Yeah, Bowman with just a push trying to get to the start-finish line to get the best finish. And the cars get very light in the tri-oval. There's not as much banking there. The cars aren't planted in the racetrack, and a little bit of push, it just gets Blaney out of control.
And a huge impact for both the 12 of Blaney, the 1 of Chastain. Watch this and listen. Just an enormous impact to that outside safer barrier.
And watch behind this, the 22 and the 11, both playoff drivers. 22 impact, 11 also.
Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace form that front row, ready to get the signal. 2 go. The Yellowwood 500, the final stage. Let's do it. Opening 2 stages, very different. Pretty much formation and rhythmic in the first stage. Second stage had varied strategies and was certainly more mixed. What are we in store for here over the next 61 laps?
Chaos. That's what my guess is going to be. Not sure when it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're catching 38 car. Remember, he served a penalty. They're going to try to get around him. Todd's going to probably stay right to the bottom. This late in the race is no need in playing games with this.
This is what happened to AJ Allmendinger earlier. And look at that. Look at the speed of the pack. Here we go. Cindric's gone. So too is Logano. Harrison Burton's in there. LaJoy.
The whole field.
My goodness.
Something stacked everybody up on the front 2 rows. The pushes got... Something happened to slow them down. Look at this mess.
With 5 to go, we got this far.
Logano's in it.
As a car... Logano went pretty early. Here's Gilliland trying to get back to it.
All right, here it is. We were looking at the back of the pack. I knew something happened at the front to get everybody stacked up. Watch the bottom row. Right there. The 2 got so far out in front of the 6, and then with all the pushing and shoving, when he got to the 2 car, he was going so fast. Right here, boom, and around he goes.
He got there, and he was also kind of moving from right to left. He wasn't, you know, it happened so quick.
Look at the push. But this is what I saw.
That's
the pushing,
right.
And the 22 was getting pushed by the 21.
Right.
The 21 was getting pushed by the car behind him. It all happened, Dick, because the 2 got out so far. And that got mixed up when they passed the lap car of Gilliland. Yeah. That changed the energy of the pack.
That was a big hit to the left side of the 47. Unbelievable. The 47 was able to keep it straight. If we watch that again, watch this 2 car right here. Gets pushed, bang, right off the 47. Stenhouse is able to keep it straight.
Look at the 9, Chase Elliott, big impact.
Are you ready to go? The big one is done. We've got a race to finish, and there's a race to be won. The Yellowwood 500 here at Talladega Superspeedway going into overtime. The fans on their feet. Let's go! Who's got the magic on the big track? They played nice for so long. But now the gloves are off in overtime.
The outside lane has more cars lined up. Here comes Tristan Rebel to the 5.
Look at Kyle Busch, that blue 8 on the top line. Doing what he can. Eric Jones in the pink and white car in the mix. Keselowski on the low line.
Both front rows got separated from each other. Now they're trying to get hooked back up.
White flag out. Next flag will end the race.
Kyle Busch to the outside.
Overtime presented by Credit One Bank. Who's got the magic in these final 2.5 miles? Busch is out of it. He's been sent back. Stenhouse in the green and white machine. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Larson in the 5. We've had some dramatic finishes this year, and it's got that feeling about it again. Keselowski got bounced out of the playoffs at the last round. The Built Submarines car is in front, but for how much longer? Here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. through the tri-oval. Keselowski down low, Stenhouse high. Byron goes for it on the outside.
Good work, dude. Let's see if we get it.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wins for the first time since he won the Daytona 500. Check out how close this was. Wow. 0.06 of a second.
And that'll get Brad Keselowski's going to relive this one. Watch right here. Brad gets the big push from Larson, but just not enough.
Why is William Byron highlighted in yellow, fellas? He advances to the round of 8.
He advanced with points. He didn't take a win. Bell has to be feeling good, as well as Larson, Hamlin, maybe even Bowman, but then it starts to get very tight down there around the cut line with the Roval next week.